Yo, 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 eagle-eyed football here, and we are live with our first ever Through Eagle Eyes show. Um, Honestly, mad excited about this one. Going to be here to obviously talking all things Palace. So spread the word to the Red and Blue Army, like we're gonna be here, and there's definitely massive plans with the show. We're gonna look to have you call in today, call in on Saturday after the Ipswich game, and after each game, we'll look to call in, have a chat about the game, things that are going well, things that are not going well. If you're happy, you're sad, you're nervous, excited. If you want to cry, come and cry. This is our channel. This is our channel here for us Palace fans. And let's just show how loud and proud we are to wear the red and blue. Special guest with me here. Nathan, big up to you. Thanks for coming on.
Nice one.
Like, let's start with you, Nathan. Palace fan, obviously, but you don't live in London. Talk me through your story.
No, I don't live in London. I live about an hour away by a plane in the Republic of Ireland in Dublin. So I'm an active member of the supporters club in Dublin, which is a nationwide supporters club. It's not just a regional supporters club. This covers the whole island of Ireland, from Belfast in the north, Cork in the south, Dublin in the east, and Galway in the west. All four corners of this small little teddy bear island. We're the active representation for Crystal Palace fans, both in the country and abroad. We do have members that are in England and a few others outside of the Republic where they've joined because they've come here, they've briefly lived in Ireland and such, and they've joined us. So we've got members fairly across most of Ireland and a fair bit of England, predominantly South London area, which is a very Irish area historically. Of course, it's now more mixed as people are well aware.
And what's it like, obviously, being a Palace fan in Ireland? Like, how's it taken?
It's pretty much like everywhere else where you don't support a big team. You're surrounded by people that don't know what Anfield or Old Trafford, where those stadiums are, but because they're Liverpool and Man United fans, they know more about football than you do. Despite the fact that I don't know, I've only been to 150 odd games, not all of them Palace, but I've been to more Division 2 games than any of these people will ever see. But that doesn't make me any more of a football expert than them. But when you're in the minority of supporters, like, so if you support Leeds, Norwich, Nottingham Forest, Derby, Palace, you're in a unique little group where you're not affected by the barstool rivalries that you see in the pubs over here, where you get Chelsea fans that don't even know where Stamford Bridge is, blustering about how great Chelsea are, but they couldn't point to Stamford Bridge on a map. you know them kind of ways there.
Yeah, and it's funny with obviously these big clubs. There seems to be like a tribalism where it's like, you can't support our club because you don't live in the area and you don't go to games. Circumstances might play a factor. And what I love about your situation is you hop on a plane to come and watch Palace. Let me use Manchester United as an example. There are fans that come from all over the world, like Singapore, Australia, whatever it may be. And those fans will get vilified because they're not from Manchester.
You got to remember, there's more people supporting Man United in South London than there is Palace. So this nonsense of, you're not a Man United fan if you ain't from Manchester. It's like, bruv, without your outside Manchester support, you man would be a tiny club. So I don't know where this hatred of foreign fans comes from, because surely foreign fans means your club is a bigger brand across the planet.
This is it.
I would kill to see Palace supporters clubs across the world where Man United have it. But you know what? Let them moan about that, because they're too busy moaning about noodle deals and tire sponsors and these kind of foolishness. I'm like, what? A big club goes from winning trophies to scoring a Coca Noodles advertisement. Bruv, don't chat to me about Man United. Don't get me started.
But anyway, as you said, we're here to talk all things Palace. And let's start off with Roy. Off with Roy. Obviously, he took over after a really, really rough patch on with Frank de Boer. And you know what? I was excited to get Frank. I was thinking, whoa, this is a new, nice direction we're going to go.
I think everyone got a bit too excited, mate.
Mad excited. 5 games in, it was like,
Watching us smoke Burnley and lose 1-0, I said, am I high? Am I smoking? Because I wish I was. It'd be less painful. I said, how do you literally pepper these from start to end And then I thought, oh, but Chung Young Lee was on the pitch, no wonder we lost. But no, in all seriousness, like the De Boer era, I think personally, I don't think the board did due diligence on De Boer, because take out what he won at Ajax, where the pressure on him is nowhere near as high because Ajax are a club that regularly win the Eredivisie. He went to Inter Milan and flopped.
Yeah.
And as somebody who does actually follow Inter Milan, I was thinking, I hope he proves himself wrong at Palace, but I don't know about this.
This is it.
You know. And then when Roy Hodgson came in, obviously Palace Twitter goes into full-blown meltdown. Oh, it's another Brexit manager, this, that. And I'm thinking, what do you want? Like, you man will be the first crying about relegation if we don't bring in Roy Hodgson.
This is
and
it.
Roy's first season in charge, apart from 1 or 2 games, we played some serious ball.
We actually did.
Like, smoked Leicester at home 5-0, put Stoke to bed. Half these teams were like, are we playing Palace? What's going on? Like, we went from getting smacked 4-5, this, that, to running teams down, and you're like, okay, Roy, now I kind of see what you're on about.
This is it.
So, yeah, like, Roy Hodgson doesn't get the credit and respect he deserves, but then again, it's Palace.
And I think also on that last season we just had last season, there was such a divide just regarding Roy in the fan base. Although we've now established ourselves as a Premiership club, I think the argument became, should we be doing a little bit better than just fighting relegation in a sense? And I think you can kind of see both sides of the coin with it, because you had the Wolves, the Leeds, who else came up? That
Villa.
There you go. Thank you. That came up.
That lot down the road.
Even that lot down the road. Yep. That came up and they did all right. In the sense, like, to the point where Villa were very close to getting European football. Wolves had European football a season before, I believe. And we're just there.
Yeah, I get that. And I think the problem with the whole divide of Hodgson in, Hodgson out, this, that, people forget that we don't have billionaires running the club. Whereas Wolves are owned by, I think, a Chinese consortium. Like Leicester are owned by a Thai consortium. Obviously, they lost their chairman in that horrible disaster. We won't really go into that. But like, obviously, them lot down the road, they haven't finished above us in the years they've been in the Premier League. Let's get that in there. All this guff about Uncle Tony, found Uncle Tony got smacked by the insect, bruv. Don't chat gas. Like, their under 23s got piped by Sutton today. I'm like, life is good right now.
Oh, yes.
But to get back on point, obviously people are moaning about how these teams have come up and they've overtaken us. We don't have an empty bucket of money to just throw at clubs. If we did, do you want another administration to try on for size?
This is it.
Okay, the model we have isn't necessarily sexy or glamorous, or it's not going to win us trophies, but we need to build the blocks to start making those kind of efforts, because we haven't had this before. We've never had a manager for more than a year and a half at the club in the Premier League since we got back into the Premier League. Roy Hodgson was our longest serving manager in the Premier League since before the Premier League was founded. It's Steve Coppell, and then it's Roy Hodgson.
Yeah.
In terms of top flight football, I know we had a couple of managers that were with us for a while, like Alan Smith and these kind of managers, but people are quick to point out, why aren't we playing sexier football? Why aren't we signing this player and that player? With what money? You can't sign players with money you don't have. It's an oxymoron unless they're free agents. And even then, we don't have the infrastructure to really appeal to the so-called upper echelons. The Lombardo deals are gone. Forget signing a Lombardo ever again, much as I'd love it to happen. But our stadium is still in need of massive renovation, but that will come eventually. Yeah. The academy was the main priority, and we've now got Cat 1 status where hopefully, and I know you want to talk about that in a little bit, Rich, but hopefully we'll start to see a conveyor belt come through it slowly. Let's not get too excited about this player, that player, rare. The divide basically was people were happy with what we had, but wanted a bit more. Yeah. People wanted us to be Barcelona on Crystal Palace money. Like, it don't work together, fam. You get me?
We got the hit colours.
Yeah, but that's Malcolm Allison for you. Benfica's animal, Barcelona's kit colours. Only Palace.
This is it. Big up to JG. He's actually American, and I do an American show at which he contributes to as well. So
yeah, big up JG, bro.
Big up Jay. And to be fair to him, he's actually like, he said to me like Rich, like you you seem like a really genuine guy. I'm actually trying to learn a bit more about Crystal Palace. So that I respect that. We're trying to get global here. Trying to get global.
Oh, well, we've got one of the biggest reaching fan bases in America outside of the so-called big boys. And I couldn't believe that. I was like, that can't. Then I looked it up and went, okay, I can see the appeal. Obviously our club emblem is the bald eagle, and obviously Kayla was a big factor in that because that appeals to Americans and their fervor patriotism. So yeah, but with Hodgson, I liked him, and I won't lie, I was on the Hodgson out bandwagon last season. I'm not going to pretend that I was always in Hodgson's camp. At first I was, but towards the end I thought, you know what? I want him gone, but I want him gone on his terms. I'm not into this Saka manager halfway through the season, bringing some Tony Pulis, Sam Allardyce kind of fool where we're playing god-awful football that's worse than this. Do you get me? Like, no, but you know what I'm saying. Some men are quick to say, let's bring in this guy because he never gets relegated, but fam, that football's like watching paint dry.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? That brings me up really nicely to the next section, actually, because when obviously Ray said that he was going to leave and retire, the rumor mill started. It was mad. And the one thing I didn't want was the regular candidates popping up. The Pulises, like you said, the Allardyces and stuff. All of a sudden, we're now linked to like Lucien Favre, Like I'm like, something feels a bit different right now. Like this is looking a bit good. Now,
you must remember, as much as we had the Favres and the Nunos, when I saw Steve Cooper, I said, fam, what is this? Steve Cooper.
That was a worry still.
I could have sworn this guy was my PE teacher back in the day. Who is this guy, man?
At one stage, he was leading.
Yeah, no, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I know people are like, oh, but he can't, Graham Potter, fam, Graham Potter managed in Sweden. He's basically a new Roy Hodgson, just with better football. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for employing a younger manager who's got fresher ideas. But Eddie Howe was this big name that people wanted. I said, no, he's a checkbook manager. And we know what happens when we spend money we don't have on players we can't afford.
Yeah,
we've been there twice in the last decade. Frank Lampard, not keen on that one either, because I don't really think his time at Chelsea is an indication of how good a manager he is, because he had big money signings and flopped. Sean Dyche, for me, would have been a decent fit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But prizing him from Burnley would have cost a fair bit of wedge.
That would have, yeah.
So to bring it back to Favre, for example, I was thinking, Favre, I wasn't smoking last night, so this had better be true, because I'm worried now. Because when things like this break on Twitter, I'm always thinking this is gonna be exposed as BS. Yeah. But the more that it gained momentum after Nuno pulled out, I would have loved Nuno, but at the same time, I see why Wolves fans are getting a bit antsy about him, because even though he got them into Europe, he did well in the Europa League, there's no real progression. You're like, what's Nuno's plan now into season 3 and 4? Yes, whereas Favre, we're a clean slate at the moment, which people are saying, oh, we're getting relegated. Lovely if you can see in the future for me, because can you tell me the lottery numbers?
Leave the haters to talk. Leave them to talk.
No. But you know what I'm saying? The first people to jump on that's Palace relegated. We've heard this before. I think we're the only, 7 games, no goals, no points, still stayed up.
Yeah.
And there was people that was clear of us after 7 games that went down. So please write us off. It works in our favour big time.
It absolutely does.
Because the promotion season, favourites to get relegated. We ended up at Wembley. The bookies must hate predicting Palace for anything.
This is
because they're like, we're going to lose money on these idiots. But no, with Favre, it's one of them where, wow, it's a big name. We've been here before with De Boer, but I thought it's not the same. Because under De Boer, there was nothing really telling us it was Frank De Boer. We just heard Palace are looking at this manager, that manager, and then Frank De Boer popped out of nowhere. You're like, fam, did Steve Parish go to Amsterdam for a little smoky smoke? Because this came out of left field.
Mad left field. And that actually, let me just address it. Paul Jackson, welcome. If you want, the link's at the top of the chat. If not, I'm going to put it back in. If you want to come in and just talk about anything Palace, come in and talk. This is for the fans. This is for the Palace fans. Like, we spend most of our time listening to pundits. Let's have our own platform to speak about the club we love. And this is what I've done this for. All right. So it's through eagle eyes, not just through my eyes, through all of our eyes and stuff. So guys, jump in, have your say.
All are welcome.
100%. Which brings us to Patrick Vieira.
Yeah.
Which was another thing that was kind of left field, you know.
Mm.
But I'm excited.
Yeah.
I am extremely excited. I know a lot of people say, oh, he didn't do too well at Nice and he's a bit of a tinkerman. But you know what? He's worked with youth. He went, the biggest thing for me personally is that he went to the MLS, which for me says you don't have an ego. Because when you think about the Premier League, we turn up our nose at other divisions, let alone the MLS. We're calling the French League a Farmers League. We're calling La Liga a Farmers League. We're calling the German League, Bundesliga, a Farmers League. So for him to go and want to coach in the MLS, fair play to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Vieira's arrival at the club?
Well, like, I was one of these people that was laughing at people getting upset about it because I thought, okay, he went to NYCFC, which is basically Man City America. Let's just call it as we see it. There's no point in trying to pretend otherwise. But what did he do at NYC? He went to a brand new club. He had no expectation on his shoulders because the MLS is very much a new franchise league where it's the American system of sport. People don't like it over here. They think it's ridiculous. They don't like our model of sport. You know, obviously we know all about the franchising in English football and how that went down. But my point being is that when Vieira was announced, I was thinking, okay, I'm not going to do the whole Frank de Boer thing of getting caught up in the hype and believing that we're going to play sexy football, this, that. But I thought, let me see if people have talked to people who support Nice or French football correspondents, NYCFC fans, and FYP, shout out to them. Yeah. They reached out to 2 New York City fans who spoke highly of Vieira. Now, obviously, you'll get mixed reviews of people from all walks of life, so there's no point in just believing the first thing you hear. But my perception of this is Vieira's got a clean slate to work with. This club has no expectation in terms of trophies, this, that. I've always said mid-table and a cup run, that's me happy. I don't want to hear any Europa League nonsense, any of that kind of foolishness. I keep telling people, what football team do you watch then? Because I don't see Europa League in this squad. When we've got man like James McCarthy in midfield, like, are you sure we're Europa League contenders? Bruv, we ain't going to get near that.
This year, we just need to actually say mid-table finish and then build from that. Honestly, I know Europe will be great, but we've got to think about the repercussions of a European Cup run. Our squad's not big enough yet.
Neither is our stadium. Let's call a spade. But I know what you mean, Rich. I know what you mean.
We've got to take small steps. Yes, we don't want to be that club where we're just languishing in the bottom half of the table. We have to aim high. I'm not saying we shouldn't, as such, but we also have to have that realism. A European run, when we're not ready for it, could set us back years. And we've done amazing to establish ourselves as a Premiership club. And I love it. I love it. And especially seeing Millwall struggling each year to gain promotion. You know what I mean?
Bruv, the Anoraks in SC7. Need I say more? These men are running their mouth about you'll never get 8 seasons in the Premier League. What's that, number 9 already?
There we go.
Oh, but you ever won the FA Cup? Okay, cool. You got the FA Cup on us. Fair dues where it is. But you man are playing Stevenage this season, right? Hey, say hello to AFC Wimbledon for us, yeah?
There we go. Welcome, Aaron there. Thoughts on the whole Conor Gallagher situation that Chelsea aren't looking to sell. You know what? I've seen a lot of Chelsea fans go mad at the moment. I think there's a lot of their youth players that are. And you know what? Big up to the Chelsea youth, because they're not looking for these loans, this loan business anymore. They have been loaned out year after year after year. And now they're like, you know what? I'll just sign somewhere else. Regarding Gallagher, good player. If he doesn't come, he doesn't come, you know. But we're looking in the right places, and that's what I'm excited about. The fact that with Vieira and obviously Igo now coming in, we're looking in the right places. We really are.
Yeah, no more signing Keshi Anderson from Barton Rovers and these kind of places. It's like, who? Has anyone actually seen this guy play, bruv? Or is it just, are we playing Football Manager and hoping this guy's world class?
This is it.
All these mad signings like Erdal Rakip. I'm like, bruv, is this man packing shelves in IKEA? Where are we picking these guys up from? What?
It's bad. Look, they're always going to write us down, Scott. They're always going to write us off. 4 favourites to go down. All right. We'll see. We'll see. I think we'll, yeah. You know what? I wouldn't even say 12th to 15th. I would say 10th to 13th finish.
You know what it is? I like the fact we're being written off already.
I love it.
Because it's going to take even split and we can go, what was that again? Fourth favourites to go down? What was that? How that lemon pie taste? Does it taste bitter? Listen, I love when people write Palace off because people were saying after the 7-0 against Liverpool, oh, they're relegation certs. Like, bruv, we can take a freak result against Liverpool all day long. Because the last time they smacked us something stupid, what happened? We upset their apple cart with Alan Pardew. And now, obviously, it's a different era of football. But people forget, we're not a club that goes into meltdown after getting smacked by a big team. Like, we went Man City for 3 years in a row, got smacked 4-5-0. I was like, any other club, you'd see a meltdown. Our fans is like, Man City, yeah, cool. If it's them lot down the road, it's whoa.
Mad panicky.
No, not even, just literally burning down Selhurst Park. But no, like, this is the funny thing. People are quick to say, we're favourites to go down. Cool, write us off, please. I love when people do that. It makes it all the sweeter when we get to rub it in your face.
100%. Look at that. Dark horses massively. This is it. Leave them. Let's just touch on just very briefly on the 2 pre-season games we've had. So we've had the Walsall game and we had the under 23 games against Dulwich last night. I'm impressed that, like, I did a little match reaction to the Walsall game and we're getting numbers in the box. Like, it was really good to see because normally Saha would actually beat a man, he'll look up and it's one player in the box. We're getting 2, 3, 4 players in the box. Yeah. That I'm happy about.
Yeah. It's one of those where this is what we've been crying out for. And because you've had half the fan base crying for sexy football and tiki-taka, this whole kind of rubbish, I'm thinking, now you're getting what you want. People are saying, we're too open, we're too expansive. I said, like, do you man just like to smoke bush or something because you don't know what you want? Like I've told you, Rich, I'm quite happy with mid-table and a cup run. So I'm not into this playing amazing football, this, that. If it don't suit us, don't play it. Play it to our own strengths.
Definitely.
But the way that the youth came into the mix, not even with Rob Street in the first half, and then the youth in the second half, I was thinking, this isn't by any means a world-class classic performance, but what it is, it's a marker for these young lads to step up and show themselves. Are they ready for the pressures of first-team football?
And I was really impressed by them. Really, really impressed. Raksaki, tell you what, he should have scored, but his ability to get on the ball and want to take on players.
Yeah, that's a great thing.
It's a great asset. You know,
my fear, Rich, and this is strictly to be totally truthful, is obviously Brandon Pierrick broke through a few years ago away at Norwich, and people were running away with it, going, "Oh, he's world class, he's this." I said, "Bruv, the man had a pre-assist to the man who got the assist. Don't get gassed about a few touches on the ball." Pierrick and Banks and these kind of players, if they're good enough, they'll get chances this season. But if they're not, touch them on. Because 100%. Players like David Omalabu have me excited. Raksaki has me excited. Wells Morrison has me excited. Jake O'Brien had a barnstorming game at the back. I thought, is this Delaney reincarnated? Is this Damo's reincarnation?
This is it.
You know what I'm saying?
We have some exciting youth players.
Yeah.
And even looking at the under 23 game against Dulwich.
Yeah.
I was like, these boys up there on it.
Yeah. But that's the beauty of a manager like Vieira, is that a lot of these kids wouldn't have seen Vieira in his heyday.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, I was born in '92, so I've been able to watch Patrick Vieira when he was at Arsenal and then Juventus and Inter Milan. Yeah. So seeing Vieira be the player that was no BS, take no prisoners, run a man out of the game, they now can look at him as a manager, and his experience will rub off on them. And whereas players like Wilf, who's an Arsenal fan, he'd know Vieira from anywhere. And the name itself, you're like, rah, Patrick Vieira is managing Crystal Palace. Like, is this a FIFA career mode or something? What's going on? This makes no sense. Yeah. I'm loving it, but I think Vieira's implementation of the youth in the Walsall game, before we go into the Dulwich Hamlet game, it was exciting and promising, but I don't want to jump on the ceiling too quickly. I want to see more of these young kids before I start
100%.
seeing people representing Wells Morrison and saying he's the next Messi. It's like,
Yeah.
bruv, relax.
We have to.
Let these men break through piece by piece. Carabao Cup football, perfect template for them because there's no
100%.
pressure in the League Cup. I don't care for the League Cup personally, unless we're in the final. Then I give a damn about the Carabao Cup. You know, I'm not one of these that's big into the League Cup.
What 23s do you think will break into the first team?
Good question. Raksaki could be one.
Reece
Hannum, yeah, because he'll definitely be a backup to Tyrick, because I don't think we're going to sign another left back. We don't really want to do that, I don't think.
No, I don't think we will.
Wells Morrison, possibly, but not.
We might see David Omilabu. He might feature.
Omalabu is a definite shout. I'm trying to think of somebody else.
This is the beauty of it. We're looking at our youth and not obviously getting ahead of ourselves, but thinking there's a shot for these guys.
Rob Street impressed me, but I don't want to get too excited about players. As I've said, Rich, I don't want to jump on this bandwagon of hyping up youngsters and then they're not as good as we believe, because that makes us look very foolish.
100%.
But to bring it into the Dulwich Hamlet game.
Even Kamari Gordon.
John Kamani Gordon. Oh, yeah. JKG.
I tell you what.
The things he was doing on that pitch was a violation. If this is basketball, he's getting put on the bench. That was a criminal.
It's getting fizzed into him up top, and he's just spinning, man.
He murdered my man, you know. I'm not a man that deals with police, but Jesus Christ, they needed to call the police quick time to Champion Hill. That was a criminal.
But he was just running at them constantly. You know, and it was just, like I said, so good to see. So we had 2 goals from Omilabu, 2 from Kamari Golden, and Leon Bello got his goal. Nascimento, they put him down as try list. He got minutes and stuff. It's just exciting times. Exciting times. And then we're going into the players that have come in.
Yeah.
Michael Elise, and yes, he's injured, but then the fact of him coming back, Eze coming back, Mark Gay.
Rich,
you know,
we've done it again. 24 million on Eze and Elise. And people want to chat about Parish don't know how to spend money. Nobody beats the insect. Why do people not realize this? He never loses. It's
amazing business.
Like, we fleeced Everton 30 million for Balassi, and people were like, we shouldn't go more. No, any more for that for Balassi was a criminal offence.
Yeah.
30 million for Yannick Balassi, who can't cross a ball more than twice. As much as I love Yannick, and I'm not dissing Yannick, but you have to understand. You know what I mean? Like, as much as I love Yannick, let's be real. Sometimes Yannick Balassi had me tearing what's left of my hair out. It's like, oh, Yannick, come on. This is not the Yannick I remember in the Championship running a man apart. But the additions of Elise and Guay to complement Eze, it's like, this is what we've been crying out for. Because I know people are saying 18 million for Mark Guay is criminal. It's like, no. That's further proof that spending big on younger players means if we sell him on, we can go 18 million, and we just sold him for 60, 70 million.
Easily.
Genius.
And the season he just had at Swansea?
Michael Elise just ran Reading, was basically Reading's best man.
Yeah.
I don't watch Championship football for the best part, so I couldn't tell you how great these players are.
I'm sure you got Young Player of the Year as well.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And so it just, we're looking in the right, and that's why I'm excited with Vieira. Like, I think that helps. The lure of saying, rah, I could play under Patrick Vieira. Like, this is an Arsenal legend here. I think that's going to do us in good stead. Just to answer this question, how many players do we still need? I think we need to get a healthy balance of experience and youth. I'm so happy we are getting these young players in. But we've let go of about 10 to 13 some of them were still negotiating, but there's a lot of players we've let go. A lot of experience.
I would say, because we've lost 2 key centre-backs, I know we've got Kiyate who can play there, but I'd prefer to move him back into midfield next season, but this is just me. We've got Kelly, who is criminally underrated by our fan base. And I keep saying, we spent 1.5 million on this guy and people don't rate him. Are they mad? We spent the best part of 24 odd million more on Sacco. And he spent more time on the treatment table than on the pitch. But when Martin Kelly comes in,
he loses his footing, he's sliding in reckless.
I used to call him Bambi, bruv. Bambi on ice.
So fitting.
You see me? Man was slipping and sliding like dancing on ice, bruv.
So fitting.
But,
Gone.
like, Scott Dan's gone. So that's a big hole in the defense, because as much as people love to say, oh, Scott Dan was past it, listen, from 2014 to 2021, Scott Dan built the football club. He was there at the start of this whole Premier League journey. I know people are going to say Ramage and Delaney and Gabidon and Moxie. Yeah, those guys were the foundation of what the club became.
Yeah.
But Scott Dan came in when we badly needed a Premier League proven centre-back, because Ramage didn't get a minute, which I think was criminal personally.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Holloway was honest with him, as you've seen in the documentary. Anybody who hasn't seen When Eagles Dare, please go watch it, because you get an insight as to what our club was and still is. It still very much is the same club.
Yeah. And also why we love this club so much.
Oh, yeah, because that season defines because 2009-10, I still watch that Sheffield Wednesday highlight game. I can't resist to not watch it every year of the anniversary.
Goosebumps.
Because, mate, the tensions, it still sits in your stomach. You're like, I know we didn't lose, but oh my God, I can feel the emotions of it. And then you look at 2013, beating them lot down the road on their own patch, playoff final, upsetting Watford. I mean, it's getting a bit silly now with them having this obsession with us, but I won't go into that too much. But to talk about the players that have come out, we've lost Dan, Wickham, Sacco, Hennessy, who's gone to Burnley. How they've signed him on a 2-year deal, I don't know, but I won't go there. There's a lot of players missing that we normally would take for granted, but at the same time, it's the right time for them to go. Because we now get players in that we can see, okay, this guy isn't going to be world class. And like, if we had Bakary Sacco younger, we're talking 23, 24.
Yeah.
We may have would have kept a Sacco. Because although Sacco wasn't prolific and wasn't 25 goals a season, Sacco would run a man out of the game.
Absolutely.
He'd bully a defender out the game, and he'd protect Wilf the same way that Jedinak would protect Wilf. Like people, Luca's another one. I'm thinking I would happily sell Luca if we could get. Like people thought Luca's the Jedinak replacement, bro. You don't replace Jedinak. You don't replace Jedinak.
Jedinak, Luca's unreal.
Luca's the Serbian Darcy Blake. Goes missing every time he's on the pitch, bruv.
He really struggled last season as well.
Big time.
Really struggled. And I feel you can sense that the fan base will like really turning on him. Which is a shame. Just gonna hit a few comments. You know what? So he's a United fan, yeah, but he's been supporting me since I started this from the jump. So if you do want to ever go and see United content, jump on support United Fan TV.
Oh, of course, man. Listen, subscribe to any channel showing love. 100%, man.
100%. So love for that.
This community is all about loving and sharing. There's no
absolutely
drop your colours when it comes to content.
This is it.
You only banter teams when you clock them on their own patch or you run them down on your own patch. But
the banter's gonna run. When we turn up at Old Trafford, don't worry, the banter's gonna run.
I'm not worried about Old Trafford away, bruv. I want them lot away. You know them ones that I'm worried about them lot on the South Coast, the Tesco FC people. I want them on the channel because where are they? Where's their channels, bruv?
We don't need a channel. We don't need them and such. Also, Vibes as well. Big up to you. Another one that's always there supporting. So
big up
as always, man. Big up as always. Let's talk about the women briefly as well. It's 5 signings this week.
Yeah, get Dean Davenport's doing business.
He's doing business. So just for information, the 5 this week were Millie Farrow, Amy Everett, Leanne Cowan, who I've actually worked with, Charlie Clifford, and Gracie Pierce, who's returning on loan. And then before that, we had Kirsty Burton. Signal of intent. We're looking to go into this WSL league with force, and I love it. I love it.
Well, this is what the hard work has come from, really, because obviously, I'm fairly certain it was maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Obviously, they tried to not have it distinguished. They tried to make the women's team and the men's team just the same club. Just obviously, the women play on the women's team, but it wasn't Crystal Palace LFC anymore. It was just Crystal Palace FC.
Yeah.
And obviously, Dean Davenport and everybody at the women's side of the game, there's been massive strides taken to get them to where they are now. Obviously, I know we've just given love to United, but when you look at the fact that Man United's women got straight into the women's Premier League, you're like, They haven't worked to get there. I know they're a big brand name and the whole lot, but when they folded their women's team the first time around, to be fair to United, I know it's not them, but I'm thinking the Women's FA should really have given United the chance to work their way in. Nobody would have had an issue with that. But to be fair to Man United women, they've been pretty good. So I don't have any issue with them. But to see the work being done by the women's team, obviously we've seen 5 signings this week, which is incredible productivity because we've seen some very good players play for the women lately.
Yeah.
And it's been hard to see some players like Nikita Winnett, for example, when she left, it was like, how do you replace players like Nikita Winnett? It's going to be difficult.
It is.
Because a lot of the ladies who've played for the club got the club a lot quicker than some of the men that have played for the club.
Yeah.
And they've been taken to heart very much by the likes of the Holmesdale Fanatics, who've done an awful lot for the women's side of the game. They're at every game for the women.
Yeah.
And, you know, people love to bash the HF and go, oh, it's just those Muppets in the corner. You don't realize the work these boys do tirelessly in the community, at games, at women's games, you name it, they're there. Even at academy games, these boys turn up.
Turn up. Yeah,
you know?
So yeah, no, the whole setup at the moment, the vibe right now is like I said, exciting times. Do you think we'll get it? I really hope so. I really do hope so.
If Parish pulls off Edward, then Celtic should fold as a club. Because if you're letting the insect take Edward off your club, fam, you don't deserve your Scottish League titles. You man deserve to go play in the Highland League. This is just criminal. Edward would just pretty much end any talk of a new striker.
Yeah.
Because he would take the pressure off Benteke. He'd take the pressure off Jordan Ayew. Because Jordan Ayew and Benteke are a different type of striker to what our fans are looking at. People keep saying, we don't have that Glenn Murray striker. Bruv, you can't get Glenn Murray strikers no more. And before we pull off, Glenn Murray, I know people love to talk about how he went back to Brighton. Listen, he's the only man that can go to both sides of this rivalry and not get hate.
And still be loved. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Even when he scored against us a few years ago, I was like, I want to hate you so badly, but I can't.
It's you, though, Glenn. It's you.
Must resist to swear like a sailor. It's Glenn Murray. Just calm down. Just calm down. But no, listen, the business has been done on both the men and women's teams. There's evidence of a club-wide plan. I know people love to highlight the men's game because our men's team is a lot more established in terms of profile and that, but the women's team have quite clearly got very integrated with the men's club because we've never been a club that likes to differentiate between senior team, youth academy, women's team. You look at the girls' teams in the women's academy, there's enough love when they're winning games. I think one of them won a trophy there last year. I think the under-14s, I think.
Yeah.
And Palace fans from all walks were celebrating it because, like a lot of clubs, and I don't think we're the only ones, but we're very much a community club. I mean, we sing about our postcode. So. We're very much a community club where we talk about South London, SE25. You know, let's be fair. We're a unique football club. There's plenty of cities, United, Rovers,
and family.
There's only one Palace.
Yeah,
I've always said that to people.
We're very family and community oriented.
Big time. Think about it. There's no like racial divide between who supports the club because we're from a very multicultural area. Yeah. Religion doesn't come into it. You know, you can have anybody from any walk of life at Crystal Palace, and the minute you put a red and blue shirt on, or you're singing your heart out at Sellers Park, there's no like, oh, you're not a real fan. What? It don't matter whether you were supporting us in 1962 or 2012. 100%. If you come to Sellers Park, why I don't know, because there's nothing sexy about Sellers Park. But if you're prepared to come to Sellers Park and support the team, you know what? You've got my vote. You're in my camp.
They come to Sellers Park because we've got the best fans in the world. We've got the best fans in the world.
Best fans in the Premier League, 100%.
I would say the world.
We clap with our hands. We clap with our hands. I get sick of them clappers at Leicester, you know. I don't go Leicester away no more because of them clappers. Seriously, it's like imagine you need a piece of paper to make noise at your ground. What? I know we've got a drum, and I don't really like the drum personally, but I can tolerate the drum, but I can't tolerate click, 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 click. So is somebody trying to start a lighter or something? What's going on here?
This is it. Listen, we've done quite a bit of talking, so we actually want to get some of you guys on to come and have your say. But let me go through the comments. So yeah, big up the HF. Bradley, just to say, this isn't a Guinness Book Records of the most fans we've had together. The most fans we've had together, yeah, is at Old Trafford when Darren Ambrose wrapped one top corner in the it was a Carling Cup at the time, wasn't it?
It was, and Glenn Murray's goal was actually a mile offside, but I'll take it all day
We'll
long.
take it.
You
That was
understand?
a Guinness Book of Records. I was there actually at Old Trafford.
Best goal ever scored by an away team at Old Trafford, according to Gary Neville. But what do we know?
This is it. Who's up for the Charlton game? I'm down. I'm definitely down for the Watford game. The Charlton one, touch and go. When you got kids, you got to kind of really plan around all that.
Time to knock them down, bruv. You ain't gonna knock them down any further than League One, bruv. It's bad enough they're in League One. Don't make it any more painful. I mean, League Two would be hella funny. To see them in League Two next season would be crackingly funny.
Absolutely funny.
As much as I love that, I kind of feel bad for them. Very, 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 very small.
It was the manner in which Lau Taylor just came and said, "I ain't playing for you no more."
To be fair, the man's got a brain in his head. You can't blame him.
And then after that, it's just like,
look at Johnny. Man rocked up there, stayed there for about a year and a half, and then went off to Cardiff.
This is it. Do you feel like the start of building up? You know what? I think so.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I think it's more pressure taken off Wilf rather than around Wilf. Because if we get when Eze does come back fully fit, Elise is in the team. The influence on Zaha will be, it's not give it to Wilf, give it to Wilf, give it to Wilf, give it to Wilf. It's going to be Wilf, get around your fullback and spin the goalkeeper. It's not, it's no longer about give it to Zaha and see what happens. It's all about get Zaha in that danger area because defenders and goalkeepers panic with Zaha in the box.
Yeah, this is it.
Elite, like Eze, Sheffield United, home and away. I said, Lord save my soul. This is illegal what this kid's doing to these professionals. My man ran the length of the pitch, spun two men outside their own 18-yard box and went, whoop, good night. That's all she wrote.
Eze is something else. He's
16 million. Well, man want to call him a flop.
Big up the Sellers family, 100%.
100.
We will never be able, so we keep beating you. Big up to my bro Leo. Like we do another show called Euroscope, so we talk like European football and stuff. So big up to you.
Yeah.
And I think Jimmy Mack will get the armband. Yeah.
Jimmy, well, I mean, Luca's technically club captain, but I think Abola Shreddy's could lead a team better than Luca personally. But that's just my personal agenda. If I had to pick a player, yeah, Jimmy MacArthur would be up there because MacArthur actually works tirelessly and people don't give him the credit he deserves.
His energy is mad.
If Zaha cuts out the petulance, because I'm still not keen on Zaha and the strops, it's like, Wilf, you're 28, bruv, you're the same age as me, bruv. If a man runs you on the floor, don't cry about it. Just get up and get on with it.
He loves a fight, innit?
Don't get me wrong. I would love to see him chin Harry the Hornet, 100%.
And Wood Prowse.
No. Fighting the mentally disabled is illegal, bruv. You know that.
No. And no, thank you.
Andreas Pereira, that'd be a good shout, actually.
No, I don't want him. Send us Ahmad.
Ahmad Diallo. Yeah.
We'll take
I'm thinking of Matthias Pereira. Sorry, the one at West Brom.
Yeah, Matthias Pereira. Yes, please. Andreas Pereira. No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you, guys. You know what? I'm gonna drop the link in. So here's the link again. If you want to come in, have your say about Alice. Come and have your say. United fans who are there, if you want to come in and talk about things, come in. We will take you. Anyone, any caller.
Open community, man.
Open community, 100%.
1 second there.
Whilst we're waiting to see if anyone does jump in, Cahill, he's refused the contract, as in he. So it's a shame we're losing the experience, but I guess the wages are mad.
Like, I get people are upset because Cahill was a rock at the back. He was leading the team because obviously his experience at Chelsea. But I was thinking, 75 grand for a 34, 35-year-old. As much as I want Cahill for his experience, I don't see the market value being worth the money. Because even on a year's deal, that's still 75 grand we could put back to use to a younger defender like that kid in Germany we keep getting linked with, Bella Kotchap. I don't know too much about him, so don't quote me on how good he is. I don't watch German football to tell you how good he is, but I would much rather see our weight, because obviously our wage budget's massively expanded because we've let go with a lot of key big earners like Townsend, Wickham. Because I think some of these players were on serious money, and obviously we don't know the ins and outs. But Kerry Cahill, yeah, it's upsetting that he's going, but at the same time, it's probably the right time to go.
Yeah, I agree.
Because if he massively declines this season, we're gonna be thinking he wasn't this bad last season or the season before. It's better to leave when the fans have a high opinion of you than staying declining and then the fans turn on you and go, he's rubbish, get him out the team. Rah, rah, rah. Like when Delaney left, Damo was massively dropping off. But when Damo left, people were devastated because obviously it's Damo. You see what I'm saying? As much as Damo was a key player of how we got here, the time was right for him to leave, even though it killed Palace fans seeing him leave.
Yeah.
And Cahill was very much in the mold of Damo. He'd come up, he'd done his work in the lower leagues, played at Bolton where he wasn't a fashionable centre-back, got a big money move to Chelsea, won everything in sight at Chelsea, but to be fair, Chelsea are Chelsea. And he came to Palace and gave us that experience and that calmness at the back.
Yeah.
Because Cahill and Tompkins worked. Cahill and Kouyaté worked. Cahill and Sakho, we never saw because Sakho would never get on the pitch. But for the time that Cahill was at the club, we can't say it wasn't a bad deal because it was a great deal, for us at the time. But going forward, it's sad to see him go. Don't get me wrong, Rich. I'm not at all saying, thank God he's gone, this, that. But the important thing for Palace now is that we get the right men to replace key players that we've lost.
This is it.
Who they are, I can't tell you. I don't know personally.
Yeah.
But Dougie Friedman, who we know, watches constant players because that's how he got some of our key players in the promotion season. He will know what players he believes will fit the mold.
Yeah, he'll have a plan.
Whether or not they work out remains to be seen. Mark Guay could absolutely tank. We don't know yet. I don't think he will, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. There's never a guarantee that a big money signing will do well or a free transfer will do well. Max Meyer was meant to be this amazing, attacking, expansive, explosive player, and yeah, you know what I'm saying.
You know, in a small defense, I think he was mismanaged. But that's
listen, I'm fully agreeing with you. But the hype around Max Meyer coming in, you'd swear to God we'd signed the German Messi. And I was thinking, okay, at Schalke, sure, he's a player that can play a highlight reel, but he's coming to a Roy Hodgson Palace. I don't think he's going to be as flary and tiki-taka as people think. And obviously, he tried. He did. He tried, God love him. And his one goal away at Liverpool, despite it being a 4-3 defeat, you're like, okay, for that, sure, at least he came away with something from his time at Palace.
Yeah, 100%.
I think he's a free agent now as well, actually.
Yeah, he is. Leo, before you bring you in, could you say waiting in the back? Just a few comments. Cabot could be a good signing. You know what? He grew into the Liverpool side, actually. He started off a bit shaky at the start, but he really grew into it. And he's still fairly young, so I won't be against that.
I'd take Kabak. I would.
Would not be against that at all. If you can only sign one more.
Only sign one more player, who would you get? Kabak.
Yeah, it has to be a centre-back.
Yeah, because I think we've got, say, the Sakho replacement. We need a Scott Dan replacement.
Yeah.
As I said, we've got Tompkins and Kelly, rather. So we do have capable Premier League centre-backs already, but they're on the aging side. But yeah, Kabak for me will probably be the right fit to complement the youth of Mark Way. But everybody's going to have their own opinion. So guys, let us know who you go for in the comments, because that's what we want to see.
100%. Leo, welcome.
Hey, you right, mate?
Not too bad.
Who's the other guy? Nathan, nice to meet you. Sorry, I'm literally driving, so I had to see the screen's about that big.
No, listen, man, don't worry about it. You're good.
Until I hit a lamppost, and then we'll see how good I am. I'm joking. No, I've just been listening. I just think it's kind of exciting for you guys, obviously, as Palace fans. I know everyone's umming and ahhing about what Vieira will bring to you lot from a manager's perspective, but I think he'll alert quite a lot of the youth the youth players that you're starting to see coming to you guys as well, because obviously he's got the Arsenal background. He understands the whole how to kind of predominantly work with youth players, because that's what they were doing when he was playing at Arsenal. You see what I'm saying? So I know we're saying the likes of Theo Walcott, etc., going through. So he has that kind of experience. But I think he'll also attract, like you are now, players from the European standards. So yeah, the German fullback you were talking about, the defender you were talking about. I think he's quite good, to be honest. And I mean, with Cahill leaving, as you lot said, you do need someone with a little bit of experience at the back. But you know, it's just one of those things where I think you just need to give him a little bit of time just to see how the system plays. I don't think like you're going to come out all guns blazing in your first few games, because I think the team itself has got to settle. But I think it'll all stay up this season, though.
Our running isn't favourable. Our start isn't favourable anyway. So,
I do agree about sorry, quickly. I do agree about the petulance of Zaha. If Zaha concentrates on his football and less bitching on the pitch and moaning around and everything else and trying to leave, he'll be absolutely class for you lot. Like in regards to he'll day in day out do it, not just one game really good and then the rest he just disappears. I think he just needs to really concentrate this year, and I think Vieira will settle him down a little bit. You know.
100%, I agree.
I think Vieira will give him a little slap and then just tell him what it's about, and just realise, like, not being funny, but if you look at the shit that he's had to deal with in the past as well, in the likes of playing against players like Keane, who are bulldogs, and obviously having stubborn players in his old Arsenal team as well, I think he'll definitely bring that kind of that to the dressing room and won't take petulance that easy. Like Roy was a bit of I mean, the guy was one game away from a heart attack, bless him. So I think it was time for him to kind of pack his bags and go and retire. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we mentioned it earlier on that it was.
I only logged in for.
You mentioned it's good that he didn't get the sack.
We spoke on Roy Hodgson and said that we were happy that he got the send off he deserved.
Yeah, he needed to see the season out.
And the boy from Croydon did good, man. Like, shall we say, like he's definitely done enough for football in these years as well. From Udinese to the England squad, back to Liverpool. Well, we won't mention Liverpool, but from Fulham and then to you guys as well. I mean, yeah, the guy done good, man. He got his full circle in football. I think it's time that he just puts his books away, man, and relax and watch his match of the day.
I don't think he will, you know.
Nah, he probably won't, mate.
Because when he stepped down, it wasn't like, oh, he's retiring. It's just a case of he's stepping down as Palace boss.
Yeah.
Vibes. Just maybe you get to know Vibes. Banter galore. Leo, you're looking out for the feds.
100%, bro. 100%. I'm looking out for the feds.
You gotta watch the boys in blue. You gotta watch the boys in blue, man.
I already do Chelsea. No, I'm joking. No, we won't talk about that. It's just one of those things, man. I think the season alone, not just Palace, but the season alone is just going to be a really interesting one. I think it's not written down who's going to win it and blah blah blah. I think it's just going to be a nice season this season. I think all the teams are quite open to some surprises.
Absolutely.
COVID has pretty much made it impossible for you to automatically write any team into any position.
Bro, COVID has done one thing. So COVID has also done one thing, man. It's given us another big tournament next summer as well. So we got bare things to look forward to on top of that.
Big time.
I always say winter, shall we say? You know what I mean? But you know what I mean.
Nobody fancies going Qatar in the summer for a World Cup.
Nah, bro, you've been baking your balls off, mate.
Baking your balls off. Man, you look a black and bass.
Leo, thanks for jumping on though, bro.
Honestly, boys, pleasure, man. Euroscope, innit? Tomorrow night, yeah?
Yeah, tomorrow night, yeah. Me and Leo are going to do a Euroscope show talking about all sorts regarding European football stuff. So if you want to tune into that, You can find me on the Eagle Eye Football channel as well. So, Leo, big up. 100%.
Big up your damn self.
Eagles. See you later, boys.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, just a bit of context. Leo's a Chelsea fan, actually. So, big up to him. Where are our Palace fans, though?
They're all scared to come on, bruv. You know what it is.
They're a bit shy. It's all good. It's all good.
You know them South London man don't like being seen. Just know, bruv. You know we don't like being seen out in daylight. It's like, who?
This is it. But with us obviously having Chelsea first game, what's your thoughts?
Being practical, it's not the ideal start, but to be honest, if there's ever a time to give a big team a bloody nose, it's first game of the season.
Yeah.
Because yes, Chelsea are defending European champions, and they will be a tough game. I don't make any illusions to say otherwise. But there'd be no fear from us, because going Chelsea away, we don't care about Chelsea away. It's not a big game for us in the sense that, yes, it's a London derby, but I'm more worried about Brentford at home. Because that's a London derby that we're not familiar with.
That's huge.
Do you know what I mean? We're not familiar playing Brentford in a league. I don't think we even played them in the cup. But Chelsea away, yes, I would give anything to beat Chelsea first game of the season at Stamford Bridge. Absolutely. But it will depend on the players we either bring in or have available, or it will very much depend on who Chelsea bring in and have available. There's big talk of them trying to sign Haaland.
Yeah. If
that comes through, it's a write-off, because Haaland is just a finisher.
He's a different animal, you know.
He's Tekken FC. Finish him. There's no coming back from players like Haaland. But the thing with Chelsea, right? And obviously we've got Spurs, we've got West Ham. I think we've got them lot down the road. Liverpool. Yeah, this is not the ideal format to play these teams. But do you know what it is? I want to play the big boys out the way first, because last season 100%. And the season before, we got shafted with our running. Like, we played Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea. It's like, do they want us relegated, bruv? What is going on here? Why are we playing all the big teams later on in the season when we literally, if it comes down to the last game of the season, we got to go Anfield away. We're getting touched. I know we only lost something like 2-0, but it's like, bruv, Sadio Mane FC strikes again. Back to the Future like his hairline. Gone. It was crazy, and I'm there thinking, okay, look, the start of the season isn't ideal from a fan perspective. We're thinking, oh, crap, Chelsea. But I thought, wait a minute. We beat Chelsea or get a draw at Chelsea, which is the more realistic scenario.
I think we can nick a point there.
Yeah, you see me? Like, I'm confident of a point, but I'm thinking, draw with Chelsea, hopefully beat Brentford, but let's not jump ahead of ourselves, because Ivan Toney scares the crap out of me. Because his pace is disgusting.
I wanted Brentford to get promoted so bad. I just like them as a club.
Yeah.
But the other side of me was thinking, if they don't
let Toney come up, he's going to murder us.
Can we sign Toney? That was what I was thinking. If Brentford don't come up, could we sign Toney? So
the part of me was like, I don't want Swansea in the Premier League. Nothing against the club personally. It's just I don't want them in the league because it's not new. I like new teams in the Premier League because it's refreshing. But at the same time, I thought, boy, but if Brentford come up, then Tony's going to murder us first game of the season. Bam! Ivan Toney versus Joel Ward is a murder. London Ambulance FC coming straight for Joel Ward because he is not coming out of that back to life like soul to soul. No hope in hell.
This is it. We're another caller in, a Man United fan actually, and I'll give you a bit of context. He lives in Egypt.
Oh, good.
And he's 15 years old.
Oh, very good. Very good.
You know, so he's got his own channel as well. Hamza, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm fine, man. How you doing?
Yeah, doing good. What would you like to talk
about? What do you like me to talk about?
It's a Palace show.
What's on your mind?
No, bro, I'm just like, some Crystal Palace fans are like worried that Crystal Palace are gonna get relegated. They're not gonna get relegated. Let's be honest. Like, they will finish above Arsenal. That's a fact. But honestly, I watched few of the highlights of pre-season of Crystal Palace. They look good. Like Patrick Vieira looked like, as a manager, I don't think he's that bad, to be honest. Like, and they're getting a couple of good transfers, to be fair. So I think Crystal Palace might finish 12th,
Mhm.
probably. That might be a good season for Patrick Vieira, a good season for Crystal Palace.
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
So I feel like they might finish 12th. I think they're good enough to stay up.
No, totally agree. Before I address those points, Hamza, sorry, the comment section.
No.
Hamza is everywhere. No.
He's here.
Does he
He's there.
sleep?
He's every bloody where.
Does he
No,
sleep?
bro. I you know what? I'm from 12 o'clock. I'm outside of home. Like literally, I didn't eat anything from 3 o'clock, and now it's like what 9 p.m. I haven't eaten anything.
Are you still fasting for Eid? Or is that
No.
finished?
Workouts in Eid, unfortunately.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
yeah.
Gotcha. But now, to be fair, like Hamza, like he supports various channels regularly on KG the Comedian's channel. You need to jump on Brad's channel as well when he's back up and running.
Yeah, definitely.
And such. But shout out your channel before I address your points.
Yeah, the United community. I might do a live stream tomorrow at 9 p.m. Talk about transfers and anything. So the United community. We're almost 20 subs, which is good for the first 2 months. So we're getting there.
Absolutely. But yeah, on your thoughts regarding I think Vieira will do a great job. He's already got us playing an attacking style of football. We're getting more numbers in the box in games, which is promising. I'm loving the way that Saha's kind of got a free role. You just see him picking up little pockets, wherever
Yep.
there he is, picking up different pockets and stuff. The youth influence as well, which is fantastic. And I agree. I think 12 will be a very successful season. I reckon. This will probably be one of our hardest seasons just because there's been so much change.
Oh yeah.
So 12 will be very, very good season.
12 would be very realistic. Sorry, just somebody passed behind me there. So I think 12 is also realistic because I won't say that Crystal Palace are suffering because of their changes, and I know they have a lot of contract issues, but I feel like because also the other teams are strengthening, like Man United, Chelsea.
Hey.
No,
Nice.
sorry. So So I feel like Crystal Palace are like, I feel sorry for them because like they were a good side last season, but unfortunately they have a lot of contract issues, and on the same side, they like other teams are strengthening so much. Like you see the likes of United now close to getting Varane. They've got Sancho. Man City potentially getting Kane and Grealish. Other sides are like really strong. So I don't think Crystal Palace are gonna be like one of those sides who like you're kind of worried. Like if we as Man United fans, I don't get the rivalry between Leeds and Man United, to be honest, because probably I'm a young United fan. So I would say that like if I'm worried about mid-table teams, I would be worried of Arsenal. I would be worried of Leeds
The disrespect. Why?
than Crystal Palace. So yeah.
Hamza, you see Leeds Man United. That's down to Manchester being in Lancashire and Leeds being in Yorkshire. And those two counties historically have had wars over England. So that's why Leeds fans and Man United fans don't like each other, because they're both from those respective counties.
Yeah, I get what they hate each other, but I don't feel like the rivalry. Like I don't feel like the same as Man United versus Liverpool. You get me? So like
No,
I feel like
I get
it's
you.
stronger when it's Man United and Liverpool. You know?
Hamza, trust me, Palace fans, we're the same with Charlton. We hate Brighton and Millwall more than Charlton, but Charlton fans go on about how we hate them and all this kind of foolishness. I keep saying,
We don't really care about you.
hate who? Like, bruv, I hate QPR more than I hate this lot. Quarter pound of rubbish.
This is it. Hamza, big up to you for coming on.
Big up, man. Big up. Always gonna be.
Yeah, get over to the United community. Support this young man. He's doing bits. He's doing bits.
Big up,
Right.
Hamza.
Hamza, take it easy.
Peace.
Right, so we got just a few more comments. Chelsea will probably have Timo Werner up front, so you'll be okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Vibes FC. No, here's the problem. The one team Timo Werner turns up against is Crystal Palace. Trust me. We don't even need to question it. He will turn up against Palace and bag 4 goals. We just know, oh, is your striker out of form? Come play Crystal Palace. We'll give you the hat trick. It's a joke.
I know Timo's tired with that running and no goals. Nathan's just addressed Arsenal in the mud, as always. I did not forget about this comment. It was mentioned earlier, but I thought it needs its own platform. It needs its own, not to be rushed in a sense. Nathan, go ahead.
Is it the badges? No. Basically, it all stems from the fact that, geographically speaking, we are the closest club to Brighton before Crawley Town got into the Football League. I know people will look at us and go, you've got Charlton on your doorstep, Millwall and Wimbledon. And that's true. We do have 3 teams closer to us than Brighton. But we played Brighton very, very closely in the mid to late 70s. And from there, it just went off. And it's nowhere near in terms of historical trophies and this, that, and the other. But the hatred is real.
Yeah. And they also actually used to play a lot closer to us in the past as well.
Yeah, they played at Gillingham and they talk about us being pikeys. Bruv, we ain't never left Selhurst Park since we got there. These men have gone to Kent to play football, but we're the pikeys apparently. Didn't we let 2 teams actually share our ground? Yeah, we did. Charlton and Wimbledon. Yeah. No, but to sum it up, United Fan TV, we should hate Millwall and Charlton and AFC Wimbledon and the previous Wimbledon more than Brighton. But because we've played Brighton more times than we play normally Millwall and Charlton, the rivalry has festered and festered and festered. And because some players and managers have crossed the divide, it mainly started with Alan Mullery and Terry Venables. We don't speak about Alan Mullery. Those were dark days. But the whole thing is that, like, it's not a manufactured rivalry in the sense that it's Arsenal Stoke. It's manufactured that we're not geographically linked to each other, but we're closer to them than Arsenal are to Stoke. So there's a genuine need to dislike Brighton because they try to be us and say they're not us. Like, they've been gassing about their academy, but their under-23s got slapped by Sutton United 6-0 today. So it doesn't make sense to people outside of the rivalry, and that's fair enough. But we don't want it to make sense outside of our rivalry. It's our rivalry.
It's our thing.
Yeah,
100%.
You get me?
And if you want to know how much we hate them, watch when Eagles there and see what they did to us in the playoff semi-final second leg. And
then watch what Zaha did to Gordon Gray. Jeez!
Great time. King Hamza, big up Bernard Dre all the way from Jamaica as well. Don't worry, you can go, brothers. You'll wake up when we beat you again anyway.
No, he won't. United fans don't sing. I've heard more noise at Arsenal, and that takes some doing.
This is it. It's a mad library. Obviously, both being in the Premier League, that does play its factor. It's them Seagulls.
Seagulls are dickheads, but yeah.
We've got a proper bird. We have an eagle,
bird
which
of prey.
Represents like dominance, and reverence.
Bird of prey, mate. Bird of prey.
They're the Seagulls.
And they changed their nickname from the Dolphins to match our Eagles. That's how tin pot they are.
Seagulls. All they do is just pick up trash.
These men were John West FC, Tuna FC, and then they changed to the Seagulls to match us. Nah, forget it.
Absolutely, vibes is always on point. In the banner and such. So, guys, now listen. This was the first Thru Eagle Eyes. I love this. I loved it. I'm excited what this is going to hold throughout the season. We'll be back again Saturday, either 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. reacting to the preseason game against Ipswich. And yeah, just look to do more of these call-in shows as the season goes on. So big up to everyone else that has joined us, whether you're a Palace fan or not. And
definitely.
Nath, big up for you coming on. You know,
No worries, Rich.
you know what? I'm gonna have you as a regular. This is gonna be our thing. This will be our thing. We'll have you as a regular.
You're gonna get sick of me, you know. Just big man thing, you're gonna get sick of me, bruv.
No chance. I love
big
your
respect.
I love your recklessness as well. You know, it makes it fun.
Like I said, don't expect no filter because I don't have one. No, in fairness, I can tone it down when need to. Don't worry. I know. I can tone it down when I need to.
That's all good. It's all good. Just the last few comments before we bounce. What even is a live? My gosh, Brad, chill. Brad makes me laugh. To be fair, I'd have someone's nuts.
Oh, a live bird. Oh God. Each to their own.
Can Callis
Hopefully
for third time in a row? We hope
Hopefully.
so. We hope so. At Old Trafford, we absolutely hope so.
I'd rather beat them at Selhurst Park than Old Trafford.
Oh,
We've done the
yes.
whole beat them at Man United away. You see me?
Yeah, we have.
2-0 up at home and lose 3-2. Fam, I'm still sick over that.
Don't. Please don't.
Matic. Walad. At one time he hits a ball as clean as ever, and of course
It was a great strike as well. Anyway, guys, big up for tuning in. Hit the like button for me, please. That's the big thing. Hitting the like button gets the algorithms up.
make sure you share this, like
Share it.
comment, subscribe, all of that.
Get your friends, family, brother, sister, auntie, whatever it is. Get them to follow Eagle Eyed Football. We'll keep churning out the content for you guys. And
The more traffic this man sees, the more shows he does. So
let's do that. Absolutely. So big up to you once again, Nathan. This was our first Through Eagle Eyes show, and there's more to come.
definitely. Listen, big up everybody for watching. Thank you very much. Rich, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
No, thanks for coming on.
No, listen.
Way out. Big up.